Thank you very much for having me here. This has been a very instructive and insightful session. I'm very happy to be here. So thank you. My name is Christopher Ziemann. I am the Transport Planning Division Chief in Alexandria, Virginia. So I oversee all of our road safety programs, Vision Zero, Safe Routes to School, and Complete Streets, as well as our public transport planning and long-range planning. So we have had a large success, a very important milestone. In 2023, we actually had 0 traffic fatalities in our city. We still had serious injuries, but this was a very important milestone. In addition, our serious crashes were actually decreased by 60% since we started our Vision Zero program in 2018. However, that might have been a temporary blip because 2024 was not as good, and so we obviously have much more work to do. So just so everyone knows, Alexandria, we are a smaller city outside of Washington, D.C., about 160,000 residents and 40 square kilometers. And it's a very historic city, very walkable streets. George Washington laid out our street network, so we're very proud of that. However, outside of the older area, most of Alexandria looks like this. So there's very little planning or design for safety, even when you have restaurants and locations that are near high-density apartment buildings. So we have also been doing a speed management program, reducing speed limits. These are in miles, so they're about reducing speeds on major streets from about 56 kilometers per hour to about 40 kilometers an hour, using electronic means both to alert drivers and then also for camera enforcement as well of speed limits. We're also doing infrastructure improvements. So this is before and after pictures of a road diet. And you can't see it, but just over the hill is our high school. So this was very important. And incidentally, we also, about a year before we implemented this, we did lower the speed limit too. And then lowering the speed limit then allowed us to design for slower speeds. So I wanted to talk about opposition and public engagement. Opposition, I'm sure everyone here has experienced it with some road projects of, what are you doing to my street and everything. So Alexandria has been very successful at using public engagement to overcome this. And I wanted to show this because the numbers are very approximate, so don't take it too literally. But in every project we found there's about 10% of people who are loudly in favor, and then 15 to 20% of people who are loudly opposed to a project. And these are the people that always sink the project. And so in order to convince public officials, we target the middle, the 70 to 75% of people who usually are usually sort of in favor of a project, but don't feel strongly enough to get involved. And so most of our efforts are to get their opinions and get feedback from those groups to show that it's not just the loud 15 to 20% who are against it. Another thing we do is in our messaging, the way we message our projects is a lot of times, instead of saying, we should do this because it's safer, we say the community wants us to make the street safer, or we've received a lot of complaints. So setting it up as the agency is responding to residents. And then when we engage public officials who are also decision makers, it's important to strategically talk to them early and often, so that you can incorporate their concerns and also their priorities in a project. And then you also understand who influences them. So is it a business group, or is it an industrial group or something? And then you can kind of talk to those people too to get them on board. Now, I wanted to give a quick example. South Pickett Street, there's no reason you should know where this is, but we did a project here that resulted in a road diet. And there's a lot on this slide, but on the left, this shows the plans that City Council has approved telling us to do this project. And then in the top right are the issues that we identified through online surveys and through pop-up events where we had people with iPads go to grocery stores and parks to get people's opinions on things like what are their biggest concerns or what do they want out of the corridor. And then we presented this to the decision makers, to City Council, showing, congestion. A lot of people are worried about congestion, but even more people are worried about safe pedestrian crossings and encouraging travel speeds. And so showing this kind of feedback, especially when you target that middle 70 to 75%, is very powerful to overcome the voices which everybody always hears to say that you can't do this because of businesses or there will be cut through traffic on another street or something. And then, specific community concerns that come up, it's important that, that we also very honestly and directly address those to say why this isn't actually a concern. And this is just an example. It's not that important to read. And then, of course, there's also always the technical data of traffic, like will it cause congestion? And so we have to do our due diligence with traffic models and show that it's not that it won't cause serious congestion. And so, kind of the overall message to officials when we're seeking their approval for this is that one, you told us to do this project. Two, people want this project. Three, this project is very feasible. And four, you've been a part of this project. So it's no surprise, and we've incorporated a lot what you wanted. So the logical extension is the solution, which would be safety improvements. So that was very high level. I've left out a lot of details, a lot of painful, gory details. But if anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out. And here's the websites with our road safety programs. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris. It was really great. And just to you on that, we've invited Chris very last minute, especially seeing all the comments and the questions from all the participants, and meeting with him yesterday and just getting to know him yesterday and hearing about his great experience in Alexandria. I thought it would be really great to have the participants know a bit more on how he successfully implemented Vision Zero interventions in relation to speed management in the city of Alexandria. So congratulations, Chris, and thank you so much for joining us today in such a short notice.
Thank you.